take off. Just tell me where you wanna go. North Pole, East, West, baby, I'll go anywhere. We'll take a plane and take a boat. I don't really care, just as long as it will get us there. Cause I wanna see what's above, I wanna see what's below. Just tell me where you wanna go. You can name the place, yeah, you can name the time. We can leave it all behind. No stop or rewind. Before we running out of time. I can see us both flying around, chilling in a pool right by the coast. I can see our clothes down on the floor. I can see it all, baby, we should go. Get set, go, take off. We can leave it all behind. Why? Before we running out of time. I can see us both flying around, chilling in a pool right by the coast. I can see our clothes down on the floor. I can see it all, baby, we should both get set, go, take off.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to the NEXXTCAR Racing League. Tonight, the Truck Series starts off the three-race shootout for the championship tonight here at Iowa Speedway. Season 3 has definitely been interesting, and things just got a whole lot more interesting for these drivers tonight for the rest of this season. don't pay attention to the internet. I'm not sure what's going on with Alberto Abar's internet. But, folks, these drivers are in for a show tonight. Hopefully, they can put on one heck of a show for you guys tonight here at Iowa. But, like I said, tonight, these drivers, well, they did what they could to get themselves into the playoffs, and the playoffs start tonight. This is NEXXTCAR, and this is Iowa Speedway.
It has to happen. Gotta prove myself. It has to happen like this, like this. You're going up against the greatest, and it's gonna get messy. If you wanna try to test me, you're going up against the greatest. Take a swing, you're gonna miss me. Yeah, it's going down in history. I'm the greatest, I'm the greatest, I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest, I'm the greatest, I'm the greatest.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to the NEXXTCAR Racing League here on iRacing. Tonight, the Truck Series starts off their playoff run, a 3-race shootout to settle it all here in Season 3. Now, you might be thinking, all season long, we've been talking about how this is going to be the longest season ever in NEXXTCAR history. Well, we thought it was going to be. And then some news was dropped earlier this week that we are going to be starting a 3-race playoff shootout to settle Season 3. And then on August 14th, Season 4 gets underway at Daytona for the Truck Series. So some big breaking news being announced this week. These drivers have got 3 races. Everyone starts off in the top 15 in points. Everyone in the top 15 in points start off on an even scale. Then everything that was implemented to give them a little bit of a boost were wins and pulls. That's it, folks. So the top 15 in the standings heading into tonight's race are out here battling for the championship here in Season 3. Now, like I said, this was supposed to be the longest season ever in NEXXTCAR, and it still is going to be. We are still going to be at 12 races this season. Previous seasons have had 10. So it's still going to be the longest season ever in NEXXTCAR history, but not going to be as long of a season as anticipated. But that is just part of the things that has ramped up this season. This season has been full of the unknown here in Season 3 of the NEXXTCAR Racing League. Well, add this to the long list of unknowns. And like I said, these drivers... And it's all due to not being able to get the numbers up to where they were at the beginning of the season. You know, a lot of people have left. A lot of the key guys this season has left. So that is basically what forced us to, hey, we're doing a 3-race shootout for the championship. At the end of those 3 races, whoever has the most points, congratulations. You're Season 3 champion of the NEXXTCAR Truck Series. Same exact thing with the Cup Series. Except in the Cup Series, we took the top 10 in the standings. So 5 less guys over there, obviously, because of the less numbers on Cup Series on Monday night. So the Truck Series drivers, these guys, they're going to have their hands full these next 3 races, especially when it comes to next week at Talladega. Alberto Abar's internet is not doing good tonight, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on with his tonight. Definitely... something that you don't really have to worry about with Alberto, but apparently tonight that is going to be an issue of his. But yeah, these drivers just full of the unknown here in Season 3, and add this to the long list of unknowns. Who's going to be the champion? That's the biggest unknown. I mean, right now, this guy in the number 1 Bud Light Platinum Toyota Tundra is probably the favorite. He is currently sitting in the number 1 seed of the playoffs, and that is David Chandler. David Chandler has put himself in great position so far this season to get himself his first championship ever in NEXXTCAR. As you can see him losing it out of turn 2. Don't do that, David, in the middle of the race, because if you do, well, you could definitely fall from the number 1 seed of the playoffs, as he's going to go from the outside wall to the inside wall. And just that quickly, folks, here at Iowa, that's how crazy things can get here. But did I mention that this is the first race of a 3-race shootout for the playoffs championship? What could possibly go wrong when you give 20 drivers 3 races, 15 of those making the playoffs? What could possibly go wrong? So things are going to get heated. Things are going to amp up, and I cannot wait to see how these drivers arise to the challenge here tonight in Iowa. As you can see, the cars have left the track. It's qualifying time here at Iowa, folks. So let's go ahead and let's get your race information up here for tonight's Week 10 at Iowa Speedway. 74-degree air temperature with an 85% humidity. It is muggy out there, folks. 7-mile-an-hour winds, and that track temperature, 75 degrees. So right there, exactly where that air temperature is. So pretty well balanced there. This track's going to have a little bit of grip to it with that 75-degree temp. Obviously, the cooler temperatures, the more grip those Goodyear tires will have going around this 0.89-mile track of Iowa Speedway. For your Corn for Racers 123 here tonight, presented by HVAC Designs and W Energy. So, like I said, this is the first race of a 3-race shootout for the championship. It's all coming down to this, folks. Who is going to get it done here in Season 3? But here we are in Newton, Iowa, for your first of 3 races for the Corn for Racers 123. The biggest thing we're going to have to keep an eye on as this race progresses is that track temperature. You saw David Chandler getting sideways coming out of turn number 2. He had his hands full. This track is going to heat up. It's going to get loose. These drivers are going to have to stay on top of it. They're going to have to beat the track. And a lot of these guys, the top 15 out here battling for a championship, and that is just going to make everything a little more intense tonight. But that weather, 7-mile-an-hour winds, that's not going to play a factor, but that temperature sure is. Give me 1 second here, as I am also trying to find the other breaking news here of the NEXXTCAR Racing League. So we talked about it. Season 4. That's going to be starting on August 13th for the Truck Series, and then August 14th for the Cup Series. And then we are moving everything up as well for both series, for Trucks and Cup. So practice will not be starting at 8 p.m. Eastern anymore. That is now moving up to 7:30 p.m. Eastern, qualifying at 8:20 p.m. Eastern versus here at 9 p.m. So moving that up by 40 minutes. And then the green flag will drop at 8:30 p.m. Eastern instead of 9:10 p.m. Eastern as it is now. So not only are we excuse me. So we're not only moving into Season 4 quickly, but we're making a lot of changes to the league as well. A lot of people said, hey, racing until 11 p.m., having to get up to go to work the next morning can get pretty tough. Well, we listened to them. We compromised with a couple other drivers. A couple guys wanted 8 o'clock. A couple guys wanted to keep it 9. So we compromised and met in the middle, and we went with 8:30. And then not only that, a lot of guys wanted stage racing. And I am proud to announce that stage racing is coming to the NEXXTCAR Racing League in Season 4. It is going to be fantastic. That is going to add another element to things. The top 10, just like NASCAR, the top 10 finishers in each stage will get stage points just like NASCAR. A lot of drivers wanted it, and that is going to improve a lot of things in each season. Cannot wait for Season 4. Season 4 has definitely got the potential to skyrocket NEXXTCAR. Something else that has got the potential to skyrocket NEXXTCAR rather, is exactly what NEXXTCAR did for NASCAR this last weekend. Once again, NEXXTCAR found itself on Van Al's Xfinity car in his debut in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. We found ourselves on a sponsor of his car once again, so huge shout out to him, Matt Tucker, for setting it up, and definitely great to see your league that you own and co-own on the side of a NASCAR car. It don't get much better than that, folks, but a bunch of people have put down a qualifying lap time, so let's go ahead and let's get that up here. Right now, Robert Asong is going to be leading the way with a 23.46. Schultz, Don Francisco, Larson, and Thomas rounding out your top 5. Right now, only 11 people have put down a lap time, and we're looking at 18 people in the lobby tonight. So I'm going to get quite a few different quite a few guys up there, but yeah, we have not done a booth broadcast here for the last 2 weeks. It feels great to be back. The last 2 weeks, like I said, the biggest reason that we have decided to advance very quickly into season 4 so we can get recruiting done, we can get some new guys in here, and that is because the numbers have not been the greatest for Truck and Cup. So that is why we have not done a booth broadcast the last 2 weeks. We haven't even really raced the Cup Series the last 2 weeks either. So we're going to get heavily into recruiting. So anyone that is watching this, if you have iRacing and you are interested in joining the NEXXTCAR Racing League, make sure you're commenting. Hit myself up or Nick Trudeau, and we will get you into the league as long as you make it past the recruiting races. But you can see 12 people have put down a lap time, and you can see from first all the way back to Zachary Brooks in 12th, it is less than half a second separating those lap times. So that is very consistent. We folks are in for one heck of a show tonight if these drivers can keep it up. Only less than half a second separating first to 12th. And then I know a lot of guys were asking about the NEXXTCAR Xfinity Series. Unfortunately, we have decided to end the Xfinity Series as once again the numbers were not great on Wednesday night. And then it also will not be making its return next season for season 4. So Xfinity is being put on hold right now. We're just going to be focusing on the Truck Series and the Cup Series when it comes to NEXXTCAR for next season. Once we can get those numbers consistently up to where they were at the beginning of the season, I mean, we had over 30 guys in the Truck Series and over 25 guys in the Cup Series, and now we're barely getting 20 in trucks, and then Cup has been right around 10 to 12. So we got to get those numbers up. Like I said, that's the biggest reason that we have decided to swiftly move into season 4 so we can get some recruiting done, get a lot more people in here, and hopefully get this league back up to where I know it can be and where it has been in the past. But folks, these guys are closing in on just under 2 minutes left here before the gridding process starts. All right, sorry about that, folks. I just got some more breaking news for tonight's race. We're going to be testing out the stage racing. The first stage will be thrown on lap 50. So lap 50 will be the first stage tonight. So testing out a couple things here apparently in the playoffs here, the last 3 races, testing out some stage races and stuff like that. So lap 50 will mark the end of stage 1 for tonight's race here at Iowa. 140 laps tonight, the first stage ending on lap 50. Just making sure I'm not missing any other breaking news that would have come across in about the last 10 minutes. And it's looking like we are good. So these drivers should be hitting the grid here momentarily. Just under a minute left, closing in on 50 seconds until the gridding process starts here for tonight's 140 lap shootout here in the first playoff race here of season 3. Next week, it's going to get interesting as the league hits the high banks of Talladega for the second playoff race of season 3. Things always get interesting when we go super speedway racing, and I cannot wait. Talladega Super Speedway, here we come next week. Definitely looking forward to that. That super speedway racing is always it's a very key race for booth broadcasts because there's just so much action all the way around the track. You never know what's going to happen next. So that is absolutely a key race for broadcasters. But folks, the first key race is what we're about to witness here right now, and that is the first playoff race of season 3. It's gridding time, folks. Let's get up your starting lineup for tonight's race. 140 laps tonight around the 0.89 mile track of Iowa Speedway. Grabbing the pole tonight to start it off, Robert Asong in the number 8, getting the pole tonight with Austin Schultz in second. Nicholas Donfrancisco third, J.D. Larson fourth. Christopher Thomas going to grab fifth with Matt Tucker in sixth. Cole Larson behind them in seventh position with Dylan Tibbetts in eighth, making his long return to NEXXTCAR. Welcome back, Dylan. Ninth is going to go to the way to your current points leader, David Chandler. And then 10th is going to belong to Steve Bocock. 11th is going to go to Cole Owens with Zachary Brooks in 12th on his outside. 13th is going to go to Peyton Tulloch with Andrew Bolander in 14th. Alberto Ebar is going to find himself in 15th with Frank Hughes Jr. going to be moving up into that 16th position. Jamie Emos is going to be 17th with Cam Jester moving up into 18th. 19th is going to go to the way of Dominic Hughes. Couple new names for season 4 that are jumping in here for tonight's race. So those two new names are going to be Frank Hughes Jr. and his son, Dominic Jr. So no longer are the Larsons the only father-son duo in NEXXTCAR. As move over Larsons, there's a new family in town. The Hughes are here. So without further ado, let's see if we can't jump up down there and see if we can't get a quick interview with your pole sitter here. Robert Asong, you got me, buddy.
Hey, cut.
What, Dylan?
All right, apparently Asong is having some problems with his radio there, so I don't think we're going to get an interview with them. But, folks, these drivers, you can see it pulling off of pit road here for the pacing laps tonight. 140 laps tonight here at Iowa. Coming around to one pace lap to go here tonight here at Iowa. Hasong and Schultz make up row 1 with Donfrancisco and Larson in row 2. The field making their way down the backstretch for the final time under pacing conditions before the green flag is thrown tonight in the first playoff race here of season 3. A 3-race shootout to crown your Season 3 NEXXTCAR Truck Series champion. And it all gets started underway here at Iowa. The pace truck, the Chevy Silverado iRacing pace truck, is going to lead the field out of turn number 4. Green flag's going to be thrown in the air here at Iowa for the first time tonight for 140 laps as Cole Larson does not get going, stacks everything up behind him, and the 8 is just barely going to clear Schultz. Schultz is going to go to the high line. So does everyone else, and we got carnage out back. Christopher Thomas is going to get sideways. He's going to go around right in front of David Chandler. Major implications for your points leader here already. Peyton Tulloch involved in this one as well. Major implications for some of the guys at the top of the point standings here in the first race of the playoffs in Season 3. Let's back it up and see what happened here in this one. It all kind of seemed to start with David Chandler a little bit. He got loose. I'm not sure if something happened in front of him that made him check up or something. You can see him just driving in. Oh, so it actually happens behind him. And then, all right, I see. Who's that got tagged right there? That's going to be the 25 of Matt Tucker involved in this one as he's going to get taken out from behind there. The 11 just drives it in a little too deep, slides on up there, takes out the 25 right in front of Steve Bocock. Nowhere to go for the 12, and right around goes everybody else. Well, that's not the way you want to start out the first race of the playoffs here in the NEXXTCAR Truck Series, but hey, Robert DeSong will take it all day long, folks, here on lap 3 under your first caution tonight. Hassan, Don Francisco, Schultz, Larson, and Larson wrap up your top 5. The 20 is going to go to Cole right now, leading the way over his father, J.D. Larson, and the number 18. Already out of this race, Jimmy Emos, Dominic Hughes, Frank Hughes, Camden Jester, already out in this one here on lap 3. So I'm not exactly sure what happened with them, but still 15 trucks in this one here, folks. But Robert DeSong leading the way under your first caution tonight. Like I said, definitely not the way you want to start this race. There is no doubt about it. So far, your biggest mover of the race. I know we only got about 2 corners in, but right now it's going to go to the way of that number 4 Rockwell Chevy Silverado of Andrew Bolander. He is currently your biggest mover of the race so far. But Robert DeSong's going to lead the field back to what should be 1 to go this time, coming out of turn number 4. All right, apparently the lights are not going to go off on the pace truck this time, so we're going to go around for at least one more time. As we get a shot looking back on the field off the rear bumper of Robert DeSong. Looking back at the field, the 48 of Don Francisco going down onto the apron here. All right, this time the light should be going off on that pace truck. You know, it's crazy to think I'm sitting here and, realizing, in the booth broadcast, there goes the pace truck light. So the field is going to be doubling up here this time. Excuse me. But, when you don't do a booth broadcast like this for 2 weeks in a row, you don't realize just how out of sink you get. But hey, we'll get back into it. But these guys getting ready to go back racing here, coming to complete lap 6 this time. His song, Don Francisco, Larson, Schultz, Chandler, your top 5. Coming to complete lap 6 this time when they take the green flag. Can we make it more than just 2 corners this time, folks? The pace truck gonna hook the hard left. Back onto pit road he goes. The control of the field is gonna be in Robert Assong's hands, coming out of turn number 4 to the Geico restart zone. Green flag's gonna be back out in the air here for the second time tonight. Can we make it more than just 2 corners here in this one? Looking all good out of 2. We are stellar down the backstretch. Robert Assong leading the way here down into turn number 3 with a big move by Schultz, powering to the inside of the 20 and trying to clear him out of 4. He's going to slide up in front of Cole Larson. He's going to take over that 3rd position. Now Cole Larson with the crossover going into turn number 1. Here comes David Chandler trying to use that high line, hitting the bumps, trying to use the seam to help him turn just a little bit. That's going to be tight off of 2. Here comes Chandler looking to the inside of Cole Larson, heading into 3. That's going to force Cole Larson up onto that high line, up into that seam. David Chandler, not quite enough momentum to make the move, but here comes old daddy J.D. Larson trying to make the move on David, heading into 1. He's going to get to the inside of the back bumper. Here comes the 22 as well. Zachary Brooks trying to get up there and join the battle between David and J.D. Larson. Brooks is going to fall back, but here comes David looking one more time to the inside of J.D. Larson. Dave's going to push up a little bit. Can't quite still get up there to the left rear quarter panel. Now going to have to drop back in behind him. Back out front, the 48 at Don Francisco. Save it, Schultz. Big save by the 56 coming out of turn 2. Big save by Austin Schultz. That was a heck of a wheeling job by that 56 driver right there. But let's get back to the battle between David Chandler and J.D. Larson in the 18. Now, J.D. Larson's going to pretty much settle that, leave David behind him, but David says, not quite yet, buddy, get back here, as now he's going to drive it to the inside. Is he going to be able to hold it? The tires are holding, coming out of turn number 4. JD still going to carry the high side momentum, beats him back to the line, clears David right through the trial heading into turn number 1. 3 wide behind these guys. Bolander was in a 3 wide situation up top. Now Zachary Brooks falling back to 11th. Here comes the 25 of Matthew Tucker. You saw him involved in the first incident. Now trying to work his way back up there on the inside of Andrew Bolander. Here comes Paint to Luck. Paint to Luck trying to work his way up there. As you can see, Cole Owens way back here in number 11, running in the 15th position, a little bit off the pace, right behind these guys after causing that first incident. Right now, Matt Tucker has not been able to really rebound from that here on lap 13, still battling with Peyton Tullock and Andrew Bolander with Alberto Abar and Zachary Brooks just ahead. Christopher Thomas is going to be side by side with Steve Bocock. Bocock at a 12, Thomas in a 5. Thomas going to make the pass here through turns 1 and 2. Can Steve Bocock make the crossover? He cannot, and he's going to have to settle in behind Christopher Thomas in a 5. Now, Steve's going to drive it to the bottom. Can he get it to stick? He can, but he's not going to get the momentum to be able to beat the high side momentum of Christopher Thomas. Back out front, these two have yet to settle it. The Larsons versus Chandler. David was able to make the move on J.D. Larson. Now, picking his next victim of Cole Larson. Now, J.D. Larson looking back to the inside of David. David, big run on the high line, to the back bumper of Cole Larson. And here comes Dylan Tibbetts in the 45 to join the party. Now, where does Father J.D. go? Let's jump inside the cockpit of J.D. Larson here through turns 3 and 4. David trying to slide job, not going to get clear as Cole Larson powers back to the outside. He's going to bring his dad of J.D. with him. They're going to go side by side, looking possibly for 3 wide out of turn number 2. That's going to be tight out of turn 2. JD's going to settle in behind David. David drives it in deep into turn 3. Dylan Tibbetts drives it in deep as well. David still not quite able to clear Cole. He's going to force his way up in front of him. David's going to clear his way into 5th. But now, Cole Larson trying to get back to him. JD Larson slides up a little bit. That opens up the door for Dylan Tibbetts in the 45, who's going to take full advantage of it. Some great battling going on for 5th through 9th right now. Christopher Thomas just behind him. Now, JD all over the bumper of Cool. Here comes Dylan Tibbetts. 3 wide out of 2 almost. Still side by side, here comes the Larsons. And through all of this, we have had a lead change as Nicholas Don Francisco has made the pass over Hassan for the lead. Now leading by just under half a second here on lap 21. David Chandler is pulled away from the guys behind him by just under a second here over Tibbetts, Larson, Thomas, and Cole Larson. Implications for the 20. Did he use up a lot of his equipment trying to battle David and his dad? Well, now maybe paying the price for it, but I'll tell you who has not used up their equipment, and that is the 4 of Andrew Bolander. Has worked his way up, now battling Christopher Thomas. Bolander in the 4, Thomas in the 5. That's going to get tight out of 4. They're going to keep it going straight, but Bolander has worked his way now back up into the top 10. His song trying to get back up to where he spent the first 20 laps of this race, leading here at Iowa. Now, just 0.45 separate your leaders. Schultz, 1.7 back, but he's got an absolute mirror full of David Chandler, your points leader, trying to rebound from an incident early on lap 1. Steve Bocock and Alberto Ebar, teammates on the American Defenders team, battling each other. Steve barely keeping it out of the wall. Alberto going to barely keep it out of the wall heading into 1. 2 teammates battling each other hard tonight. Alberto not quite done with this battle, trying to get back to the back bumper of Steve Bocock. Now, side by side, the 18 and the 17. Peyton Tulloch trying to work his way up inside the top 8. He's going to power his way to the outside of J.D. Larson. He's going to take over that 8th position. Now, his next victim he's setting his eyes on is Christopher Thomas in the 5. Making his way onto the track is going to be Jimmy Emos, 28 laps down, but welcome to the show, Jimmy. And that number 98, keeping it out of the way of the leaders, letting them do their thing. Whoa, watch out. I thought he was going to slide up the track there a little bit into Christopher Thomas, but Jimmy's going to keep it going straight. They're all going to make a bye, but we have a battle heating up for the lead here in this one here on lap 28 between Don Francisco and his song. Just 0.28 seconds separate your leaders. His song has done a great job of running back down Don Francisco. Remember, folks, lap 50 will be your first stage break tonight. Now his song all over the back bumper of Don Francisco. Dive driving to the inside. Don Francisco's just going to clear him heading through the tri-oval. Now all over the back bumper through turns 1 and 2. This is where these trucks get so loose. You saw it on lap 1. Don Francisco able to keep it under control as they're going to head down into turn number 3. Side by side, Hassan noses out in front. Don Francisco carries the momentum off the high line. He's going to lead them back to lap 30. His song had to give way a little bit through turns 1 and 2. Now 0.3 of a second behind. Now powering back on that inside. Don Francisco trying to use the high line. His song running the low line. Gets a big run. They're going to be side by side. No, they're not. I thought for sure his song was going to have enough momentum to drive it to the inside of Don Francisco, but he decided not to. Now all over his back bumper coming out of 2. His song still trying to run down Don Francisco. Don Francisco trying to hold off a song. There goes a song making a big move to the inside. Side by side. Can he clear him? It's going to get tight out of turn number 2. Don Francisco now on the inside. His song on the outside with Steve Bocock, the lap car coming up ahead of him. Where does Steve go? Oh, Steve's going to play pick. He's going to get stuck in the middle. Don Francisco's going to use Steve perfectly as a pick against his song. Now Don Francisco goes back to the lead. Here comes his song as Steve goes way up high to let the leaders go, but a big run from his song down the backstretch. Side by side. His song trying to use that high line perfectly. Side by side, they come back to the line, dead even at the line. His song leads that one. Now Hassan has cleared Don Francisco. What can Don Francisco do to get back to him? And all the meanwhile, here comes your points leader, the number 1 of David Chandler. He's looking out his windshield. He is saying, keep battling, boys, keep battling, because with those guys battling side by side, that is allowing him to get closer to them every lap. So that's what he wants to see, is them to continue battle out front side by side. But the 2 leaders seem to have got it figured out now. So it's going to be interesting to see just how is he able to get back up there. Right now, Chandler is the fastest truck on the track that last lap with a 24.65, trying to run down your 2 leaders. He's there, folks. He is slowly but surely reeling in your 2 leaders. Is he going to have enough time before the first stage break at lap 50 to do anything with them? His song and Don Francisco continue to battle. Here comes Don Francisco right back to the inside. Trying to get to the inside. Couldn't quite get it to work. But now going to have to settle back in behind the 8 heading into turn number 1. Your next best battle on the track is right here between Cole Larson and Zachary Brooks. This is your next best battle on the track, and this is for 11th. Right now, Cole Larson holding on to it in the 20 with Zachary Brooks in the 22, and Alberto Abar has retired from tonight's race. You see him in 15th position. It says he is out. I'm assuming it has something to do with the internet. You saw just how horrific it was in practice, and unfortunately that is something that is very important when it comes to sim racing. A lot of stuff has to work correctly for it to go smoothly, and unfortunately that is just something that sim racing requires. You got to have good internet. You got to have a great computer. And if one of those things is off just ever so slightly, well, that is the product that you get with Alberto Abart you saw earlier. But right now, Don Francisco starting to fall back off the leader, just under 0.4 of a second back. But David Chandler creeping in closer ever so slightly, just over a second behind your two leaders. And then Dylan Tibbetts, what a run for this 45 truck. Dylan Tibbetts, not a full-time driver in the NEXXTCAR Racing League. He is I'm not exactly sure what he is, but he spends like 4 months straight out on a boat, you know, transporting cargo and stuff, and he races when he can. And what a run he is having tonight in that number 45 Hot Wheels Toyota. And what about the guy behind him, Andrew Bolander, working his way up inside the top 5, working that high line, making it work for him. He was involved, stayed out back for quite a while in the first opening part of this race, but now working his way up inside the top 5. Same with the guy behind him, Peyton Tulloch, in that 17 truck. Both those guys have been working their way up through the field together. Bolander, +9 positions since the drop of the green flag. Peyton, +7. But let's get back up to your battle for second, because it's heating up as David Chandler has just taken over second place, just over half a second behind his song, with about 5 laps to go till your stage break tonight. Don Francisco bringing the battle right back to Chandler. His song starting to pull back away here a little bit over your guys in second and third. Larson and Brooks continue to run side by side with the leaders, not too far behind them. You see it. That is your difference between right there, 12th and the leaders. So this could get interesting. His song should catch him before the stage break. So David Chandler possibly going to get the opportunity to get up there and battle him. The thing that Chandler did not want to see is exactly what is happening. You saw Brooks and Larson were side by side for the majority of these last couple of laps, but now they're going to work it out, get single file, and that is not what David Chandler wanted. He wanted those two to continue to run side by side, try to give them an opportunity to get up there and battle for this stage win. But right now, Chandler all over the back bumper of Larson through 3 and 4. Larson 1 lap down. Ken Brooks trying to stay on the lead lap. Here comes the song with a big run out of 2. Brooks is going to pull to the inside, let him go by. Chandler was hoping Brooks was not going to have sportsmanship, battle him to stay on the lead lap, but Chandler is going to have to work his way up there the hard way, but we should see the caution fly this lap. Once the top 10 all pass the start-finish line, we should see the yellow flag fly. Tucker is the guy in 10th, so he would be the last one needed to cross the start-finish line to end stage 1, and there you have it. The caution flag is going to fly, and that is going to be your first stage tonight. Robert Asong is going to get the first stage ever here in NEXXTCAR. Obviously, it is not an official stage. We are just testing things out tonight. So, yes, he's going to be credited with the first stage win ever in NEXXTCAR, but obviously the importance of that will come next season, starting on the 13th of August for the Truck Series, because that is when the drivers will earn stage points. They are not going to get stage points tonight. That is, like I said, we're just testing it out, seeing how it works, and so no stage points are being awarded tonight for that stage win. So the first official stage winner won't come until next season, but now Pit Road is going to be busy here in this one. But folks, while the pit stops and everything are commencing, we're going to step away here for a quick break. Don't go anywhere, folks, because we're going to be right back to bring you more of the action here from Iowa Speedway. It's been a great race so far. You're not going to want to miss the rest. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
I feel so lifted by my side. It's where you're sitting in my life. It's where you fit in, yeah, yeah. I never thought that I would get this far. I wanna drive around in the nice cars. I wanna forget about my scars and just have a good night. I smoke something down, I drink something down. I'm feeling it now, I'm feeling it now. I could say it out loud. When I see you, my heart goes down, 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 down. I could say it out loud. Down, 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 down. Say it out loud. I could say it out loud. Everything you do, I can't seem to get enough. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Girl, you got me shook from the way your body looks. Got me riding hooks, got me feeling like a rook. I don't do it by the book, but for you I'll take a look. Don't know what your mama took, sweet and spicy like a cook, yeah. I'll keep it real, let's make a deal. Buy you a meal if you just let me feel. Get out your heels, grab on the wheel. Back to my place at the top of the hill. Don't have regrets, I know what's next. She need a fresh, I'll be back in a sec. Look at them legs, don't make me beg. Back to the room, let me show you my bed. Touching on your body feels like taking on a drug. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Everything.
All right, folks, the lights are off on that Chevy Silverado pace truck. We are going back racing this time. The field, side by side through turns 3 and 4. The pace truck gonna hook the hard left back onto pit road. We are going back racing here in stage number 2. Green flag's gonna be back in the air. Robert DeSong's gonna get himself a great launch here in this one. Got a new guy up front, Andrew Bolander, trying to work his way on the outside of Don Francisco in the 48. Now, trying to battle his way up there in the 3rd. Bolander's going to... Don Francisco, big wiggle out of the 48 out of turn 4. Big save by that 48. Multiple big saves by some guys tonight. Schultz also had a great save out of turn 2. Slide job by the 48 coming out of 2. Bolander cut him a huge break. Now Bolander's going to try and get back to him here coming out of turn number 4. The 45 of Dylan Tibbetts is going to lose it. So does the 56 of Schultz. Caution's going to fly for the 3rd time tonight. So does the 12 of Steve Bocock. Bocock's going to go around into 12 as well as the caution's going to fly for the 3rd time tonight. Let's back it up and see exactly what happened. It all started with the 45 of Dylan Tibbetts. Let's see what exactly happened with the 56 here. Whether he got turned because he saw the 45 or if he just lost it all by himself. You see the 45. Oh, they both synchronized spinned it off of turn 4. Let's back it up and see it from the 56's point of view. Once I can find him, there we go. All right, you see the 45 down there in the Hot Wheels. He just loses it, and so does the 56, and right around he goes. And then Steve Bocock comes into the picture right there. Zachary Brooks going down through the grass. He's going to big save by him as well. But we're going to be under caution for the third time tonight. 2 of those being for incidents, 1 being your stage break tonight. But Robert Hasong continues to lead the way here in the number 8 here on lap 58 of 140. But right now, Andrew Bolander in the number 4 Rockwell Chevy Silverado, still your biggest mover of tonight's race, plus 10, with Peyton Tullock right behind him, plus 8. Both of those guys running 4th and 5th right now, so they have worked their way up through the field together. And right now, both of them inside the top 5. This is exactly the race that both those drivers need if they're going to have a shot at the end of these 3 races here in the playoffs to grab the NEXXTCAR Truck Series Championship for Season 3. But right now, David Chandler still holding on to that championship points lead. We'll have to see if he's able to keep it at the end of this race. As you know, he was involved in that first incident on lap 1. He wasn't involved in the main incident, but he did spin it coming out of turn number 2, but able to rebound and currently running in that 2nd position. So great rebound for Chandler. Can he keep it up? And does anyone have anything for this number 8 of Robert Hasong? You see the lights are off on that Chevy Silverado pace truck. We are going back green flag racing this time to complete lap 60. Hasong has chosen the high line. Chandler on the inside. Right now, both lines have been getting some great runs. You know, the outside line is normally the line to run around Iowa. But, I mean, Hasong was making that inside line work perfectly when he was trying to get past Don Francisco. He was making it work great. So what kind of run is David Chandler going to get? Who knows? But the green flag is out once again. Chandler spins the tires. Don Francisco all over his back bumper. That's going to allow Hasong to get a great launch. Here comes Bolander around the outside. Here comes Thomas trying to work his way up inside the top 5 on the outside of Tullock. Tullock's going to slide up. Is there going to be enough room? He cannot. Here comes Thomas on the outside. Oh, and the 56 is going to get turned by Zachary Brooks out back. Caution is out once again. Major damage to the 22. You can see that left front. Let's get a really good up-close picture of the left front damage. You can see it a little bit right there in the wheel well, folks. Lot of damage to the 22. Basically, that wheel well ripped out of the 22. Let's back it up and see exactly what happened there. You saw him get into the back of the 56, but not exactly sure what transpired to cause that. So coming out of turn 2, the 56, the 18 has to check up. Zachary Brooks gets up into the outside wall, and that's what happened. Okay. So that honestly all stacks up off of J.D. Larson a little bit. Watch the black and red 18 truck in front of the 22. Right there, J.D. lifts. Zachary Brooks has to lift as well. Gets up into the outside wall. Comes down into the 56, and right around goes Schultz. And that's where all the heavy damage on the front left corner of the 22 came from. And now, major implications for both of those drivers as well. You see Zachary Brooks still riding around with the damage, coming to pit road this time here on lap 63. But Robert Asson continues to lead the way here at Iowa. But folks, we're going to step away here for a quick break. We'll be right back to bring you more of the action here from Iowa Speedway. It's been a great race so far. These drivers put on one heck of a show in stage one. Can they continue it tonight? Stay tuned to find out.
Trust what I'm given. My faith still needs a gun. Whose ammunition justifies the wrong? And I can't see from the backseat, so I'm asking from above. Can I trust what I'm given, even when it cuts? So heaven, if you sent us down, so we can build a playground for the sinners to play as saints. You'd be so proud of what we made. I hope you got some beds around, 'cause you're the only refuge now for every mother and every child, every brother that's caught in the crossfire.
All right, the lights are off on the Chevy Silverado Pace Truck. We are going back racing this time, folks. These drivers have put on one heck of a show so far in this one. Can they keep it up here through the middle and last part of this race here? Come to complete lap 65 of 140, just under halfway here in this one. His song has been the truck to beat all night long. Don Francisco has been his biggest challenger. Can Chandler make his name known tonight? Can Bolander be the guy to come from the back to the front? Green flags back in the air here at Iowa. Chandler's going to try to get up to the high line there in front of Bolander. Bolander's going to keep his ground, but now they're both pulling away. Bolander's going to fall back to fourth. Don Francisco slides up in front of him. Bolander trying to cross over, heading into three. Not quite going to be able to make that work, but here comes Thomas. That's going to get tight off of four. Thomas slides up, puts Payton to luck into the outside wall. They're going to keep rolling straight, but here comes Matthew Tucker trying to take full advantage of it. Same with Dylan Tibbetts. What kind of damage is done to the right side of the 17 truck? Now Dylan Tibbetts is going to make the move on Payton to luck as well. Payton trying to rebound, falling back to the 8th position, but back out front his song, pulling away a little bit from your leaders, but Don Francisco is an absolute miracle with that number 4 behind him. Here comes Bolander to the inside of him. Side by side out of turn number 4, here comes Thomas. Thomas trying to carry the outside momentum to the outside of Bolander. He's going to get there heading through turns 1 and 2. Here comes Matthew Tucker trying to work his way up there, but Sheep. Oh, the 5 is going to get loose. Big save by Christopher Thomas. Here comes Dylan Tibbetts trying to take full advantage, but Matthew Tucker slides up in front of him. Christopher Thomas says, I did not appreciate that. Gives him a little bit of a shot. They're going to keep it going straight. But now, Sheep is going to get stuck behind the 25 and on the outside of the 45. Now, Christopher Thomas trying to get back to the back bumper. Matthew Tucker, will he give him another shot if he gets there? Still, side by side, bumper to bumper. What does Payton to luck do if he gets to the 5? I know he doesn't appreciate getting put into the outside wall. Now Dylan Tibbetts got loose on the inside. He's going to have to chase it up, tracked it behind the 5. And here comes Christopher Thomas right back to the inside of Matthew Tucker. Here comes Dylan Tibbetts in the 45. Meanwhile, just in front of these guys, Bolander trying to continue the battle with the 48. Now, here comes Christopher Thomas right back to the 25, but here comes Dylan Tibbetts trying to get back to his back bumper. Here comes Peyton Tulloch. Tulloch trying to work his way back up there. He was up inside the top 5. Can he get his way back up there? But here he comes to the outside of Dylan Tibbetts. Crossover to the inside of the 45 he goes. Just over halfway in this one, folks. This racing has been absolutely insane. These drivers trying to continue it to the latter part of tonight's race. Dylan Tibbetts trying to get a little bit of a crossover move of his own. It's not going to work, but he's going to drive it in deep through 3 and 4 to the inside of Peyton. Now Peyton's going to carry that outside momentum all the way around the track. He's going to clear the 45. Now, can he get to the back bumper of Christopher Thomas? Remember, Christopher Thomas put him into the outside wall about 5 or 7 laps ago. What is Peyton Tulloch going to do if he gets back to the back bumper of Christopher Thomas? Is he going to give him a little bit of a payback? The battle for third heating up as well as Bolander now all over the back bumper. That Ally Chevy Silverado 48 of Nicholas Don Francisco trying to hold him off. Peyton has cleared Christopher Thomas. Christopher Thomas going to drive it in deep to the inside here through 3 and 4, side by side through 3 and 4. That's going to get tight out of 4. They're going to keep it going straight. Dylan Tibbetts going to try and take advantage off that high line. Not going to be able to. Christopher Thomas sideways heading into 1. These trucks are slipping inside and everywhere they go. To the inside, that's going to get tight. All over the back bumper, Peyton Tulloch. Back to the inside he goes. Oh, he's pushing. Peyton's coming down. Contact through 3 and 4. Here comes Tibbetts. This is about the best racing we have seen maybe all season long when it comes to short track racing. Now, Bolander has worked his way past Don Francisco. Don Francisco's going to try and get back to him, but now Bolander has set his sights on David Chandler in second. Let's get back to the big battle. Still side by side, Tibbetts and Thomas. Tibbetts is going to clear him out of 4. Is Sheep going to get a big run off that high line? He is not. He's going to have to settle to run behind him now all over the back bumper to 45, continuing to try to use that middle lane. Try to use it to his momentum. He's going to get possibly, I thought he's going to get a big run out of 2, but he did not. But now Peyton Tulloch taking the heat to the back bumper to the 25 of Matthew Tucker in that Rackley Chevy Silverado. Now a mirror full of that number 17 behind him. Payne's going to get to the inside of Matt Tucker heading into 3. Can't quite clear him to make the slide job happen. They're going to be side by side. Tucker's going to beat him back to the line this time. Peyton continues to drive it in deep on that yellow, trying to hold it down there. He's going to slide up a little bit off the exit. That's going to allow Tuck the big momentum run out of 2, and he's going to take it right back to the position. And now Peyton's going to have to ride behind him, trying to get some momentum built up, and here he comes out of 4. That's exactly the run that Peyton needs heading down into turn 1. He's going to be close enough if he wants to dive it in there. He does not. He's going to stay right in his tire tracks, trying to get underneath them here on the exit of 2. If he gets that left rear quarter panel, which he does, he's going to have himself a great shot heading down here into turn number 3. There he goes. He's going to clear him. Now does he slide job Peyton? Peyton does the slide job, but here comes Tucker with the crossover. Here comes Tibbetts trying to make it 3 wide out of 4. Tibbetts can't make it happen, but here comes Tucker back on the inside. Tulloch holding his own in the 5th position. Here comes Tibbetts right back at him to the inside of Tucker. The battle heating up as well for second. Chandler's about to have a mirror full of the 4. Bolander still trying to work his way up to the front. Does he have maybe the best truck to battle his song for the win here tonight? But let's get back to the action here for fifth, because folks, this is insane. These drivers, this, like I said, might be the best racing we have seen all season long. Tucker could not quite hold the bottom. That opens up the door for Tibbetts. Once again into 45 to the inside he goes. Now down into turn number 3. Tibbetts unable to keep the speed, keep the momentum. That's going to allow Tucker the big run off that high line. He's going to get him back to the line. He's going to clear him through the tri-oval heading into 1. Tibbetts continuing to run that inside line. Down to the inside he goes. Has to lift ever so slightly. You saw the flame come out the right side. Now Tucker with the big run off that high line. He's going to take 6th position right back. Ever so slightly, folks, you can see the gap between Chandler in 2nd and Bolander in 3rd. 0.3 seconds is the gap. Bolander slowly but surely reeling into 1, who is also reeling in his song. We have a 4-truck battle for the lead. David Chandler all over the back bumper of the 8. Bolander trying to work his way up there. Don Francisco just behind him. Side by side for the lead. Chandler trying to hold it down low. Can he get his truck to stick? Can he slide job the 8? He cannot. His song comes right back on that high line. Here comes David Chandler driving it in deep. Here comes the song. Can he do a crossover? He cannot. Chandler is going to lead him back to lap 90. Sorry, lap 89. Now, here comes Bolander. Don Francisco right behind him. Keeping pace in case anything happens between the front 3 runners. Now his song looking to the inside. Can't quite get to the left recorder panel. Still side by side for 6. Tucker and Tibbetts with Christopher Thomas right behind them. But now here comes Bolander looking to the inside of a song. Here he comes down into turn number 3. Thinks better of it on the entrance. Is he going to try to get the big run out at 4? He is going to. He's to the inside of the 8, but the 8's going to get that big run off that high line. He's going to clear Bolander at the line. Now, what does Andrew do heading into turn number 1? He's going to keep it on the bottom. Bolander still trying to get the big run off that low line. Not going to happen that time through 1 and 2. He decides to go back to the outside. Try to maybe try a crossover. Don Francisco clearly thinking the same thing. Bolander's going to get the big run off that high line to the back bumper of the 8. He goes heading into turn number 1. Let's jump inside the cockpit and see what Bolander sees. Big run out of turn 2. He's going to take it to the inside of a song. He's going to look this time. He's there, folks. He's to the inside. He's going to keep the momentum. His song's going to pull away, but Bolander still able to keep the momentum just enough to not allow his song to clear himself heading through 1 and 2. Now his song is going to get the high side momentum. Now Bolander's got to jump up in front of Don Francisco to keep that position. He decides not to. He's going to make the charge to the inside as well once again. Now, all of this is allowing David Chandler to pull away out front. Now, 0.8 of a second of a lead. You got to wonder, what is this doing to the tires on that number 4? Don Francisco's going to jump in there behind him. Bolander still trying to clear his song in the 8. He's going to clear him this time. His song, big wiggle out of 2. That's going to allow Don Francisco to make the pass. Don Francisco's back up into 3rd. His song has fallen to 4th. Now Bolander up to 2nd. Did he use up all these tires trying to make the pass for 2nd? Does he have anything to run down your leaders? Tucker and Thomas both on pit road. Clearly, those two used up their tires big time with their battles. Now, David Chandler behind Steve. How hard does Steve Bocock race the leader? He does not. Bolander's going to be looking for the same exact courtesy out of Steve. Chandler's going to have a couple more lap trucks in front of him as he's closing in on Zachary Brooks, who's going to be going all the way down to the apron to let David Chandler go by. I thought he was going to let him go by, but he's going to stay behind him here through turns 1 and 2. Now Dave's going to get the big run out of 2. Zachary Brooks is right there on the exit. That's going to get tight for your leader out of 2. That's going to slow him up a little bit. Now he's got Christopher Thomas right in front of him in the 5. Now Bolander's falling back as well. His song has made the way to pit lane. Same with Peyton Tulloch. Green flag pit stops and full commence tonight. Here on lap 99 of 140. Your leader, David Chandler, coming to pit road this time. He's going to get it slowed down. Watch that inside pit road wall, and he is going to get that number 1 Toyota slowed up in time just enough to make his pit stop, handing the lead over to Andrew Bolander, who is probably going to stay out, lead this lap, get a point, and then come down to make his pit stop. Obviously not coming to pit road this time, staying up high. Here comes the 48 of Don Francisco up the second. Now, does Bolander come to pit road this time? He does not. Your front 4, Bolander, Don Francisco, J.D. Larson, and Cole Larson, all pitted back on lap 51 along with Steve Bocock. Those are the only ones who have not made a pit stop this green flag cycle. The last time Zachary Brooks was in was lap 63. Everyone else has pitted under this current green flag cycle. 38 laps to go this time. Caution is out. This has changed everything as Dylan Tibbetts in the 45 has gone around out of turn number 2. You see it, folks. Brooks, Bocock, Chandler, Tucker, Tulloch, Hasong, Thomas, all trapped 1 lap down under this pit cycle. This has just changed everything. Let's back it up and see exactly what happened to Tibbetts. Looks like he just loses it all by himself out of 2. Just, yep. There it goes, right around. He did a good job of walking it down and not hitting anything. Great job by Dylan, who has had himself a heck of a run tonight in that 45. Obviously, not what you want to see from Dylan there, but now, their leaders coming to pit road. This has just changed everything. Obviously, those guys are all going to take the wave around that just pitted, you know, Chandler, Tucker, Tulloch, Hasong, and Thomas. But the damage is done because now they're going to be restarting back deep in this field versus the pit cycle, you know, playing out and getting back up to the front. So this is going to get very interesting here. 35 laps to go this time, folks. This time back around 35 laps to settle it all here in Iowa. As that's going to be close. Don Francisco's going to beat out Bolander out of the pit lane. That is going to give Don Francisco the lead. I know it's saying that Zachary Brooks is your leader, but Brooks is going to have to let them back by. There you go. You see Brooks letting them back by. This is going to be interesting. Don Francisco beat Bolander out of the pit road, so he's going to take over the lead. JD Larson's going to take over third, and Cole Larson will be in fourth. And then you got Chandler, Tucker, Tulloch, Hasong, and Thomas all taking the wave around. They are going to be back on the lead lap, but maybe the damage is done for them. But hey, 35 laps is still a long time to settle everything here in Iowa. You see everyone in front of him getting ready to take the wave around. Don Francisco, the driver we're riding on right now, everyone in front of him will be taking the wave around as soon as the white flag, I'm sorry, not the white flag, but the one to go is displayed. It should be this time. Don Francisco, let's recap how he got the lead here. Coming to 30 laps to go here. Closing in on 30 to go. This last caution kind of flipped the field a little bit. Your leader, Chandler, Hasong, both of those guys getting trapped a lap down, having to take the wave around under this last caution. That allowed Don Francisco, Bolander, and both Larsons to come down and get their pit cycle done under caution. And now you can see as the rest of the field taking their wave around, going around the pace truck. Now the field side by side. Don Francisco beat Bolander out of the pit lane, so that has handed the lead to the 48. Right now, that outside line so far tonight has been the way to go on these restarts. Well, look right behind the two leaders. It's going to be Larson's making up that second row on this restart. Father inside, son outside. What do they do on this restart? Everyone on fresh tires here up front. All pitting on lap 104. Zachary Brooks has rebounded up into the 5th position right behind Steve Bocock. Green flag's going to be back out in the air here with 32 laps to go this time. 32 laps to go this time. The field getting single file very quickly here on this restart. Already getting single file. Now, Hasong in the 8. How hard does he run that truck to try to get back up front? But side by side battle for the lead. Here comes the 20 of Cole Larson to the inside of Don Francisco. Looking to try to make the pass for second. Don Francisco is going to get that big run off that high line. Cole Larson comes right back at him through 3 and 4. He's going to push up off of 4. He's going to get sideways. Big wiggle by the 20. He's going to keep it under control. He's going to save it. Now here comes JD to his inside. Father and son racing side by side out of 2. Cool. Up into the outside of the wall, just ever so slightly out of 2. Now, Bolander, a mirror full of Don Francisco through 3 and 4. He's going to lead the field back to 20, excuse me, 29 laps to go this time.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
And the caution waves once again. Major implications for the 22. Let's back it up and see exactly what happened to Zachary Brooks. You can see the right front damage there. Not exactly sure what the yellow was for there. I'm not exactly seeing what the caution was thrown for. I don't know. That's an interesting caution right there. Kind of one of those ghost cautions that iRacing sometimes throws out there, but man, things are heating up. Hasong, let's check in on that 8. Still in the 8th position, coming down pit road following Tulloch, and he is going to pull everyone else behind him down pit road as well to try to get some even tires along with the rest of this field. But Bolander is going to lead the field under caution here once again, as Steve Bocock is going to get back on the lead lap. But folks, we're going to step away here for a quick break. Don't go anywhere because things are starting to heat up here in Iowa. Just over 25 laps to go here in this one. It's going to get good. Don't go anywhere.
Girl, you got me shook from the way your body looks. Got me riding hooks, got me feeling like a rook. I don't do it by the book, but for you I'll take a look. Don't know what your mama took, sweet and spicy like a cook, yeah. I'll keep it real, let's make a deal. Buy you a meal if you just let me feel. Get out your heels, grab on the wheel. Back to my place at the top of the hill. Don't have regrets, I know what's next. She need a fresh, I'll be back in a sec. Look at them legs, don't make me beg. Back to the room, let me show you my bed. Touching on your body feels like taking on a drug. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Everything you do, I can't seem to get enough. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Touching on your body feels like taking on a drug. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Everything you do, I can't seem to get enough. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb.
All right, folks, the field side by side once again, getting ready to go back racing here in the thick of it all with coming to 25 laps to go this time. I'm sorry, the lights are back on the pace truck is apparently trying to get some things figured out here. But the lights are back on the pace truck, not going back racing this time. Now, the lights are back off on that pace truck. Bolander, Don Francisco make up row 1. The two Larsons make up row 2. Tucker, Chandler, both trying to rebound. Chandler has had one of the best trucks tonight. Now finds himself in the 6th position. Can he get back up to the front? Tulloch trying to work his way back up there. Hasong, definitely the best truck all night long in that number 8, trying to work his way back up to the front where he has been all night long. Now, he grabbed the pole tonight. Can he get back up there in the first playoff race in this 3-race shootout for the championship? Well, let's find out. 24 laps to go when the green flag drops this time. The pace truck hooking that hard left back onto pit road. Bolander going to lead the field back to the green flag. Green flag going back in the air. J.D. Larson does not get going on that outside line. That's going to stack up that outside line big time. And that's going to allow Don Francisco and Cole Larson to clear him heading into 1. You can see just how tight that outside line is. Hasong, that got tight for Hasong in the 8. Don Francisco going to drive it in big time through turns 3 and 4 to the inside of Bolander. Bolander going to try and get the big run off that high line. Dead even at the line. Caution's out once again. Christopher Thomas, Zachary Brooks. Definitely not the last couple of laps that Zachary Brooks has wanted in this one. It just looks like things got tight out of 4. Peyton's coming down. Maybe, I don't know if there's actually some contact there or not. Let's back it up here and let's see. Is there a contact made? no contact right on that seam was Christopher Thomas, and Zachary Brooks just nowhere to go in this one. Like I said, not the last couple of laps that 22 truck has wanted, no doubt about it. Right in front of the best truck on the track all night long. Let's jump inside the cockpit of, excuse me, Robert Asong, and let's see just exactly what he saw. Whew. About as close as it gets there for his song. But we are under caution, coming to 21 laps to go this time, folks. Just when you didn't think things could get any more interesting tonight, you know, we're going to end the season out with a three-race shootout for the championship. And now we're going to be ending this one with less than 20 lap shootout here at Iowa. As you can see, Dylan Tibbetts coming back down pit road, currently being scored in that 13th position. Definitely not the race that 45 truck was looking like he was going to have, as he spent the early part of this race up inside the top 5. Well, now Tibbetts finding himself back on pit road in the 13th position. Let's do a quick through the field here real quick from Stoughton, Virginia. Nicholas Don Francisco in the 48. He has had himself a very consistent race so far tonight. Now number 48 currently finding himself coming to 20 laps to go, leading the field here in this one. Andrew Bolander, his biggest challenger of the night, and that number 4 Chevy Silverado. Bolander, also your biggest mover of the night, plus 12 positions since the drop of the green flag. Cole Larson from Oregon, Illinois, in that Toyota, the HVAC Designs Toyota Tundra, that is, worked his way up to 3rd, plus 4 positions from where he started. Pretty solid night tonight so far for that number 20 as well. His father right behind him, J.D. Larson from Rockford, Illinois, and the other HVAC Design Toyota Tundra. Absolutely fantastic race for both Larsons tonight. David Chandler being scored right now in the 5th position from Gainesville, Florida. He came into tonight's race your points leader, looking to try to hold on to it tonight, but he has definitely had a very up and down race in that number 1. Peyton Tilluck right behind him in that 17 from Greenville, Tennessee, rocking the Bent Kennels Chevy Silverado, currently trying to work his way back up inside the top 5. Plus 7 since the drop of the green flag tonight. So he's had a very up and down race as well in that number 17. Zachary Brooks in that number 22. He has had about the most roller coaster of a ride you could have in a race. Now, back up in that 7th position, that 22 truck has been put through the shredder and back out on the track again. But that 22 truck's back to looking brand new. He is going to be restarting this one in the 7th position. And the guy on his outside, Robert Asong, has had the truck to beat all night long from Westland, Michigan, trying to work his way back up to where he started this thing on the pole. Can he get back up there? But folks, you see it. The field side by side once again here in this one. The pace truck going to be leading the field back down the backstretch one more time in this one. 19 laps to go, folks, to settle it all here in Iowa. Do you think we're done with the cautions? Because I don't, because things are just now getting heated here in Iowa. The pace truck, once again, hooking that hard left, back onto pit road. Don Francisco this time, leading the field, back to the Geico restart zone. Green flag is going to be back out in here, 18 to go this time. Big stack up on that inside line. Don Francisco's going to clear that inside line. Bolander trying to battle right back to him. Whoa, Steve Bocock backwards. He's going to lose it out of turn 2. He's going to save it, though. We stay green. No caution. We're still single file. Here comes David Chandler trying to work to the inside of Peyton Tilluck. Tilluck's going to get loose in front of his song. His song is going to save it. Coming out of turn 4, Don Francisco's going to lead him back to the line, but it's action-packed top 7. Now Matt Tucker trying to work his way. Christopher Thomas right behind him. Thomas trying to work his way back up. 3 wide out of 2. They didn't realize it. Up the track goes Zachary Brooks. They're both going to save it. Him and Schultz. They continue going straight. We stay green. No caution. We stay green. 16 to go. Back out front, Bolander trying to run back down Don Francisco. Chandler trying to work his way past Tulloch. Tulloch not making it easy. That's going to get tight for his song out of 2. He's going to get stuck, but he's going to push the 17 down the backstretch heading into 3. Here comes Tucker driving in deep with Thomas behind him. 3 wide out of 4. His song, Chandler, Tulloch, 3 wide through turns 1 and 2. Now, Tulloch, oh, Chandler save it out of 2. He does. Tulloch with the crossover on his song. Now, Tulloch has that inside line. Now, looking to the inside of his song, who wiggles out of 2. I'm sorry, out of 4. Right in front of them, the Larsons, side by side. Both of those guys battling for what would be their highest finish all season long. Here comes Matt Tucker. He's looking to the inside of Tulloch. Now Tucker's going to hold it. The Larsons, side by side, about as tight as you can get out of 4. Where does his song go? He's stuck behind J.D. Larson. I'm sorry, Cole Larson. J.D.'s on the inside. His song looking to the middle. Trying to get the big run. On the outside of JD. JD's giving him plenty of room. Maybe not out of 2. Side by side, 2 rows deep here as they head down into turn number 3. Cole Larson just in front of this gaggle formation right behind him. Chandler stuck out back battling Thomas. Now Hassan has made the pass for 4th. Now Tucker all over the back bumper of the 18. He had to lift a little bit to not wreck the 18. Now here comes Peyton to the outside. He's trying to power his way back to the outside. J.D. Larson, you saw him driving in deep, had to lift to save it, keep it out of the outside lane. Now he's going to make the pass. Peyton Tulloch does. Now here comes Tucker looking to make the pass as well. Peyton hitting about every bump you can on the high line. He's going to keep it going straight. But like I said, hitting about every bump now. J.D. Larson going the wrong ways. David Chandler jumps to his outside. Here comes Sheep trying to look to his inside. Don Francisco pulling away ever so slightly out front now. Just under a second with 10 laps to go here at Iowa. Bolander, does he have anything to get back up there and battle Don Francisco? These guys out back continue to battle strong here from 3rd all the way back to 9th. You could throw a blanket over these guys. Now Tucker with the crossover from the high line all the way down to the middle line. David Chandler's into the wall trying to pass him. Caution. Oh, they're going to keep it going straight. No, they're not. Major implications for the 18 and the 20. The two Larsons are going to get taken out here in turns 1 and 2 with JD getting the worst of it. Unbelievable. That all started when it looked to be David Chandler getting into the outside wall, trying to squeeze past Cole. You can see David has a huge run off that high line. Watch the one trying to squeeze. Cuts underneath him, just clips him. Man, just ever so slightly tries to cross over when he realizes the high line isn't there. And right there just drives him into the outside wall. Well, folks, like I said, we were not done with the cautions tonight with 7 laps to go. Things are just now heating up here in Iowa, folks. You are not going to want to miss this one as the Larsons battling for a top 5 finish tonight just got that finish taken out of their hands. But we're going to be right back here to bring you the closing laps here from Iowa. Are we done crashing? The drivers Only know that. We'll be right back to bring you more of the action from Iowa Speedway. You're not going to want to miss this finish. We will be right back.
Yeah, let's go. I'm unstoppable, do the impossible. I'm irresponsible, yet I'm phenomenal. I got an arsenal, I'm dropping bombs, you know. No, I'm not stopping, no. Conquer the obstacle. To the top, here I go, think I'm chosen to be the king of rock, think the people have spoken. I can hear the tick-tock of the clock, I'm in motion. So now I'm gonna pop, causing all this commotion.
Yeah, sometimes I think that I'm unstoppable. Yeah, ready to go, man, lock and load. That's right, I swear to God that I could drop it, bro. Yeah, I got a shot and I ain't stopping, no. That's how I know that I'm unstoppable. That's how I know that I'm unstoppable. Yeah, let's go. I don't care what they all say. That's right, I'ma do this thing my way. Let's go. Been grinding hard on it all day. Okay, we work hard, then we all play. Yeah, I'm addicted to the grind, man. That's right. So I refuse to waste time, man. Yeah. One day it all will be fine, man. Let's go. Gotta commit to the climb. You know we're back with the Guinness, setting records every minute, every track. In addiction to the fact that we're winning, still we lack something's missing. Need a track that is hitting, making racks, making millions.
Oh, yeah.
Harass, that's the mission. I don't waste time, no, I make time. All these people wanna hate, fine, I'ma make mine. While you sitting there complaining, I'll be training. While you sitting there just waiting, I'm creating.
Yeah.
All right, folks, going back green this time. A late decision to go green. Let's get it. 5 laps to go, 4 to go this time to settle it all here in Iowa. Are we done crashing? Only the drivers know that. Don Francisco's going to lead them back to the green flag. Bolander does not get a great start. He's going to fall back to 4th. His song jumps up to the outside immediately. Here comes Tucker on the inside. Schultz is going to push up out of 2. To lock Christopher Thomas, they both keep it going straight. Coming to 3 laps to go this time. Bolander, not a great restart. Can he get back up there? Here comes his song to the outside of Don Francisco. 3 to go. Side by side for the lead out of 2. His song outside. Don Francisco inside. Tucker right behind him with Bolander behind him. Here comes Tucker to the inside of Don Francisco. Contact, no contact. I thought Tucker was going to push up, but that's going to open up the door for Bolander. 2 to go. His song has had the best truck all night long. Now looking to close it out with a lap and a half left. Bolander trying to power his way, but it's going to be white flag in the air this time for Robert Asong, looking to win in his return to racing. Bolander inside, trying to slide job Don Francisco out of 2. He's going to get it. Don Francisco with the crossover down the backstretch, side by side through 3 and 4. But out front, it is going to be Robert Asong, going to lead the field from the pole all the way to the checkered flag. Robert Asong gets the win in Iowa. Bolander second, Don Francisco third to lock 4th, and David Chandler in 5th. But Robert Asong, a roller coaster of a ride tonight, is going to get the win at Iowa, and you can see the fireworks going off on the backstretch to celebrate his song's win in the first playoff race of Season 3 here at Iowa. What a race for Robert Asong. You can't say he didn't earn that one, folks. He got the pole, had to work his way back up to the front after getting stuck back in traffic after a pit strategy cycle that had a caution thrown in the middle of it. But now, Robert Asong burning it down on the front stretch. Robert Hasong in his return to NEXXTCAR, burning it down on the front stretch here at Iowa. Let's go ahead and let's get your race results up for tonight's first race of the playoffs here in Season 3. Robert Asong's going to get the win with Andrew Bolander in second, Nicholas Don Francisco third, Paint to Luck in fourth, and David Chandler rounding out your top 5. Matt Tucker in sixth, JD Larson seventh, Austin Schultz 8th, Dylan Tibbetts 9th, Steve Bocock rounding out your top 10 with Christopher Thomas in 11th. Zachary Brooks is going to round out the lead lappers in 12th with Cole Larson 13th. Definitely not the finish that number 20 was looking like he was going to get with Jimmy Emos in 14th, Cole Owens 15th, and Alberto Abar in 16th. Well, folks, this could be some very interesting post-race interviews, so don't go anywhere, folks, because we are going to be right back to bring them to you right here. So don't go anywhere. We are going to be right back.
Break down, always feel like I could break now, but I never let it take me to that place now. I won't ever let my thoughts get away now. I got better things to do, picking fate now. I just wanna be the best, call me great now. I don't know if I'm okay or insane now. I remember better days on the playground, hoping I can find my way. Even when I'm feeling down, I fight. Even when I don't know what is right, I'ma pick a side and I'ma take pride. I will decide my fate and I will never let them tell me who I am. If you try to shape me, I'll be damned. Planet on the ground is where I stand. Never give up, that was always the plan. It's so cold outside, I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold outside, I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold. Girl, you got me shook from the way your body looks. Got me riding hooks, got me feeling like a rook. I don't do it by the book, but for you I'll take a look. Don't know what your mama took, sweet and spicy like a cook, yeah. I'll keep it real, let's make a deal. Buy you a meal if you just let me feel. Get out your heels, grab on the wheel. Back to my place at the top of the hill. Don't have regrets, I know what's next. She need a fresh, I'll be back in a sec. Look at them legs, don't make me beg. Back to the room, let me show you my bed. Yeah, your body feels like taking on a drug. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Everything you do, I can't seem to get enough. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Touching on your body feels like taking on a drug. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Everything you do, I can't seem to get enough. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. I could look at you all day, watch the way them hips sway. Love your body, so I pray, don't you dare take it away. Can't control what I say, lost my mind cause your frame. Hey girl, what's your name? Lit me up just like a flame. Body in motion, I feel the commotion, beyond you like lotion. I'm honest and broken, I flow like the ocean. I feel you were chosen to fix me, I'm broken. My heart that you stolen, hey. Stay with me, play with me, lay with me. Hate to see when you leave, chemistry feels like it's destiny. I just want you laying next to me, and I really don't want you to ever leave. On your body feels like taking on a drug. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Everything you do, I can't seem to get enough. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Touching on your body feels like taking on a drug. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Everything you do.
All right, folks, welcome back to Iowa Speedway for your post-race interviews tonight. Man, what a race we just saw tonight, and Robert Asong grabbed the first pole in tonight or this season's playoffs, and you also grabbed the win. How does it feel, buddy?
I'd feel a whole lot better if I was in the playoffs, but that's okay.
Absolutely, man. Well, first off, welcome back to racing, man. I know you messaged me a couple of days ago, and you said it was a pretty rough time, but, man, welcome back, and way to get going once again.
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to snag the pole there, and I did. And I was like, all right, so I got a pretty decent truck on speed off the get-go. And at the end of that first run, freaking David was closing on me, and I was like, I got to just hit my marks and not let him catch me. And then that caution come out after I pitted under green and really bit me. Seems like that's how it goes over here with me anyways. I pit under a green and the caution comes out 3 laps later and I'm stuck 1 or 2 laps down. But I thought I did a pretty decent job at getting my way back up there, and that second to last yellow, I came down and got tires, and I said, I'm not coming back down pit road, put the pit equipment away. We're going for it. And it played out.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, you mentioned it. That first stage was absolutely amazing. That was some of the best side-by-side battling we have seen all season long. And, yeah, David was coming for you, and there was a couple other guys that were definitely making their way up there. And then, yeah, you mentioned it, the turning point of the race that it seemed like it was going to be the turning point was that green flag pit cycle. Then the caution came out when Tibbet spun it out of turn 2. But, yeah, you know, you mentioned it. You got trapped a lap down there, took the wave around, and came down as the next couple cautions fell your way.
Oh, yeah, it just goes proof to no matter what the race throws at you or what life throws at you, you just got to keep your head up and keep digging. And I want to give a shout out to my sponsor, Uncoiled Firearms and Gun Range here in Livonia, Michigan. Want to give them props for putting them on the car.
Absolutely, brother. Well, congrats on your return and congrats on the win tonight.
All right, where are we at next week?
Next week, we are at the 2.5 mile track of Talladega.
Alrighty.
Moving on to your second place finisher, Andrew Bolander. What's going on, man?
Going on, Ronnie.
You had a pretty interesting night tonight. Started 14th, worked your way up inside the top 5, had to work back up there, and then that caution fell exactly the way you needed it. But Don Francisco is able to beat you off pit road, but you find yourself coming home in second.
Yeah, that caution really helped. I didn't know what I was going to do yet for that last pit stop, and then that caution kind of like saved it.
Yeah, absolutely. You found yourself in some of the best battles tonight out on the track. This, like I just mentioned with the song, this was some of the best side-by-side battling we have seen all season long.
Oh, for sure. I mean, yeah, me and Don Francisco had a good battle. Me and the song battled pretty well. And it was a lot of fun out there.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Congrats on that second place finish tonight.
Thank you.
Moving on to your third place finisher, Nick Don Francisco. What's going on?
Doing pretty good.
Man, you found yourself in some pretty good battles tonight.
Yeah, racing Andrew and Robert all night, and I think David at one point too. They were all pretty good, pretty tough competitors.
Absolutely. So when that caution came out during the pit cycle and you were able to beat Bolander, how were you able to beat Bolander out of pit road? What exactly was the the difference maker there between you two, if you know?
I think I was able to pull it straight out of pit road rather than having to turn and angle it out.
Gotcha. Okay. So, excuse me. So, you were able to, choose that high line and everything. That was definitely the money lane this tonight, was that high line on these restarts. But a couple times that outside line spun their tires a little bit, but, you were able to make that high line work while some of the guys were making that low line work.
Yeah, I felt more comfortable on the outside. The low line wasn't really where my truck was comfortable, so I felt it was more comfortable on the outside, to where I can make more better moves on people if I had to.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Well, congrats on the third place finish.
Thank you.
Moving on to your fourth place finisher, Peyton Tullock. What's going on?
What up, Ronnie?
Not much. Same as Andrew Bolander. You had to work your way from the back of the field tonight, started in 13th, but brought her home in 4th.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This race gives me a lot of hope for not just this season, but even next season for me. This was the first race I've had my new wheel in trucks, and I've had it for a couple weeks now. Got a little practice with it, and man, like I had a truck tonight. It's a little. There's gonna be part of me. It's a little sad that I didn't get some practice laps and qualify tonight because I could have been a threat from the beginning. But after I figured out what I was doing, I worked my way through the field and I was there. Just need a little bit better track position, but I was really hyped about it. Really proud of tonight's performance. Drove the wheels off this thing and ended up getting a 4. So a lot of hope going into the rest of this playoffs and next season.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned it, driving the wheels off that thing, and I mentioned it under that last restart. You were running the high line through 1 and 2, and I think you hit just about every bump you could up there because your truck was all over the place. But hey, you kept it under control, and you were able to bring it home in 4th.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, I was ripping it out there tonight, but hey, we'll take it. Good night.
Absolutely. Congrats on that 4th place.
Thank you, Roddy.
Moving on to 5th, David Chandler. What's going on, buddy?
Ronnie Noggle, man. Doing good, feeling good. That was a hell of a race.
It was, man. You guys put on one heck of a show tonight, and I'm like Peyton. This brings a lot of hope for next season, but for the league and everything. And you guys put on one heck of a show tonight, no doubt about it. But you had a very interesting race tonight. You found yourself on, I don't know what it was, the first quarter of a lap coming out of turn 2 sideways, and you were able to rebound, challenge there coming to the closing laps of the first stage for the win, and then bringing it home in 5th.
Yeah, it was a bit hairy when you put the sticker tires on there, and so I was being a little bit timid at the start of the race. And something that wasn't catching my eye in practice is when you had fresh tires and your air pressure was real low, and you'd get down on that bottom portion of the track next to the apron, you'd catch the bumps. Your ride height was so low that you were actually bottoming out. I didn't really think about that until about halfway through the race. So I started trying to utilize that high side to kind of warm the tires up a little bit with all that momentum you carry up there. And then we'd move down low, and as you would see that once those tire pressures came up and I wasn't bottoming out anymore, I was really able to wrap the bottom and kind of do some sliders on some people. And yeah, it's a hell of a track. Hell, I thought it was going to be bottom lane only, but it really opened up.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I got to ask, Cole Larson was looking like he was on his way to maybe his best finish of the season. What exactly happened out of turn 4 and heading into the tri-oval there?
Well, I saw him in the corner before. It looked like he got stuck on the bottom. And he was getting freight trained. And me being in that position before, I know it's a little bit frustrating. And so the first gap you get, you're gonna squeeze her in there, and that's kind of what happened. I came off the corner. We were going down the front stretch, I believe it was, and there was just enough of a gap for him to slide his truck up in there. And I kind of anticipated it. I burped the throttle and cut down low, but unfortunately, it wasn't enough when I kind of caught the left rear end of him, and that was the end of it. So that was a little bit of me being a bit aggressive and not wanting to lose a run, and a little aggression on him closing the door. But no harm, no foul. I don't blame him for doing that. I probably would have done the exact same thing.
Oh, absolutely. It goes both ways. Just like you just said, you had the run. You lift, especially at this track. We saw it all night long. You lift, you're going to get past, and if Cole didn't slide up in that to try to keep you from taking that position, then you're just going to pass him on the outside anyway. But yeah, congrats on this top 5 tonight.
Hey, I appreciate it, Ronnie. Y'all have a great night.
You too. All right, Matt Tucker, you started 6th and you come home 6th. It don't get much better consistency than that.
Yeah, I mean, after buying the track at like let's see, 902, I will take that, and then getting an incident lap 1. So we will I think it was a good race for us, and it wasn't terrible from not having any practice and barely running qualifying.
Yeah, absolutely. You just mentioned it, getting involved in that incident on lap 1 with you and Cole Owens. I know you two are friends and everything, but I know that there was no malicious activity there. You just kind of overdrove the corner, which is very easy to do on cold tires. But yeah, you were able to rebound pretty nicely.
No, yeah, it's fine. We were just it was lap 1, so I mean no one really knew what to expect with the full pack, so no harm. So it was totally fine. So, and I kind of came down a little bit too, so it was just racing things. So, but yeah, didn't take a fast repair until the stage break, so kind of was just trying to ride around and just save it just in case something else happened too. So I took that there, and then just tried to battle way up. I mean, everybody was good tonight. Peyton and Andrew flew through the field, so they were fun to battle against. And Hassan looks like he was just the class of the field the whole night. So that last caution where we was on like around lap 95, kind of jumbled up the field when you had 4 cars on lead lap and everybody else took the wave around. So it was a good rebound for Song because he was pretty buried deep in the field. So it was a good drive by him to get back to the front, and we'll head on to Dega where we can hopefully have another good race there too. With the second round of these first time for the playoffs for NEXXCAR. So I think for the way the first race went tonight, I think go on to tune in next week at Talladega.
Absolutely, yes, sir. Congrats on that 6th place.
Yep, thanks, Benny.
Moving on to one of the heartbreaking stories tonight, JD Larson, looking like you were on your way to a top 5 finish tonight, involved in the same incident that took out Cole. But hey, 7th place, can't be too upset about that one tonight.
Yeah, it's actually unfortunate. I'm actually pretty upset. Chandler actually has a target on his back over that one. He was just running way too aggressive. I saw it for quite a few laps, and he ended up taking off the 20, and then it also led to, within the same incident, took me out as well. So I definitely had a top 3 truck tonight. If not being able to take the win, to finish 7th, I'm definitely not happy.
Absolutely, completely understandable. Just get caught up in something that you weren't even really involved in. But what kind of momentum does this give you heading into the playoffs? I mean, you like you said, you had a top 3, maybe even a winning truck tonight, and to get it, taken out. But, you got to look past that 7th place. You got to look at how you're running tonight. Obviously, the 7th place doesn't tell the whole story.
Yeah, I mean, things happen. It's racing. I understand. But, it's just unfortunate it happened to us. And like I said, he was running aggressive, majority of the last 10 laps, which, I suspected. But, it had to happen to both Larsons, and that's definitely not good. So, as far as moving forward, I have not so good luck at super speedway racing. I always get caught up in, all the wrecks, it seems like, and I just can't seem to move forward when it comes to super speedway. So we'll pack up tonight, and the DSR Sick Racing and HVAC Motorsports will get ready for next week, and see how we finish then.
Absolutely, man. I know you don't want to hear it, but good job on that 7th place finish tonight.
Yep, thanks, Ronnie.
Moving on to the guy that has all the luck at super speedway racing. Until it comes to actual league racing, he can win it all in the preseason, but has yet to find his way to victory lane at 1 in the actual season. Steve Bocock, what's going on, man?
Oh, nothing. Just kind of sitting around listening to everybody. I didn't have a very good night, so.
Yeah, I mean, you found yourself in some things tonight. You were involved in a couple of the incidents there. Just really none of your own doing. Just things happened right in front of you and just nowhere to go for you.
Well, I didn't have a truck that was really worth racing. I've burnt the pedals up on my new wheel, so I'm back to the G29. And once you use one of those dirt drive wheels, it's hard to come back to these because I can't just get a feel for the track anymore. So I was burning the tires off. I think that first run, which I think was aided by I think that the number 11 or somebody wrecked there, and I got in that, so I had some damage. But I was down to in the teens on my tires after that first run, and the second run was in the 30s. So whatever I was doing, it was wrong.
Absolutely. Well, next week is Talladega. We know how good you are at super speedways. How do you feel about it?
Oh, I feel like I'm probably gonna be yelling at people, but of course we can't do that anymore. So, no, I don't typically have a pretty good feel for those tracks. It's just I always get wrapped up in something, or I play the team game a little bit, which I think as teammates in some of the other series, I do, and somehow the working with the team, somehow I get behind and get wrapped up and stuff. So I don't know. I'm not gonna go rogue or nothing, but I'm definitely not. I'm gonna look out for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Your teammates are always there until it comes to the last lap. There's no doubt about it. But good job on that 10th place finish, and I'll be looking for you out front next week.
All right, man. We'll catch you later.
Absolutely. With that is going to do it from Iowa Speedway here for the NEXXTCAR Truck Series first race in the playoffs here in Season 3. That was some of the best side-by-side battling we have seen all season long. Is that going to give these guys some momentum heading into these next two races and into Season 4? But that's going to do it here for this one, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will catch you tomorrow night when it's the Cup Series turn to do it all over again right here at Iowa. So make sure you tune in, and we will see you tomorrow night. Have a good rest of your week, and good night.
It's at Richmond.